Welcome back to the program. You're watching Morning Thailand with Tulip and Golf. And first news, we will go to Prachuap Khiri Khan province at Kui Buri National Park. There was a report of, this is actually first discovered on December 3rd.
Right.
That there was a report of 8 gaur, or some people will call it wild ox, found dead in the national park. But just recently over the weekend, there were another 3. 3 another 4 actually.
Okay.
So in total right now 12 wild ox or gaur has been reported found dead in the national park in the past month, and that is a lot. The whole park they believe to have about 250 gaur residing, and they're still trying to find the cause of this death. The official already sent a sample of the body of some of the gaurs itself, and also the water in the area, sample of the earth and grass in the area. At first, they believe that there might be some toxic from the plant called mimosa, because not too far away from the national park, there was a report of 3 cows died because of the toxic of the nitrate toxin that they got from the mimosa plant. But the official already ordered to take out of the mimosa they could find in the area. So, but right now the official believe that that might not be the cause itself, but they still have to wait for another week or 2 to find the cause of the death. They're able to find these last 4 gaurs in the national park because on Sunday about the 300 people, officials and local together, did the what's it called blanket searching of the 6 square kilometers of the national park, just to make sure that search every square centimeters of the forest, whether there were any more of the dead animal. So they just found another 4. Total 12.
All right.
And we hope we will hear in the news pretty soon what will be the cause, and hopefully there will be something that they can prevent for the future loss.
For sure. All right, moving on to another incident that of course took place around especially northeastern part of Thailand as well as the north, the severe temperature drops. At this year, I mean, even in Bangkok, we feel it. Especially this morning when we get out early, of the house very early, and pretty much just shaking because it was quite cool. And a lot of you might not think that's that cool, but the thing is, we're not really prepped for it.
Yes.
We haven't witnessed this for quite some time, so we're quite shocked. Finally, winter is winter.
Normally it will be a couple days in a year that go to 25, but last night it was like 22.
Yeah, it was down to quite cold. Now, up in the north, though, especially in Leh province, they say that there has been a report of severe drop of temperature as in 1 digits, and we're talking about 4 degrees Celsius, as low as 4 degrees Celsius. And they say that a lot of people, especially the villagers, have difficulties pretty much sleeping in the house, because don't forget, we don't have heater here. That means that they actually could not sleep very well due to the very cold temperature. So a lot of people have to get out, make bonfires and sat around it. And they say that at this point, Kui Buri National Park has seen quite a bit of numbers of tourists visited the area. They say that at this point, if the tourists want to go up to the national park, they say that you would probably have to sleep in a tent, because the residents that they have, the houses that they have available, well, they are all booked. Now, they say that in Nakhon Phanom province also seen quite a bit of a drop in 1 digit Celsius as well, about 8 degrees Celsius, especially in the Nawa district. And they say that at this point, Leh province, Daan Sai district, there has been a report of 1 person that was actually has been killed due to the severe temperature drop already คุณเด่นเชื้อบุญเมือง age 64 now he of course have his personal illness as well but they say that they found him to be outside of the house sleeping and that's probably caused him to pass away because severe temperature drops at night. Now in Kalasin province around 10 to 12 degrees Celsius but it went as low as 3 to 5 degrees Celsius up in the mountainside and the meteorological department reported that this particular cold weather will probably continues on all the way till New Year after like January of next year. And in Lampang province there as well as Mae Hong Son there has been a report of several of the seniors as well as children that suffer from the respiratory disease, difficulty to breathe because of the severe temperature drop. Now, Mae Hong Son province in particular, 7 districts has been declared disaster zones already because the temperature was below 15 degrees Celsius for more than 4 consecutive days. So if you're up in the northern side of Thailand, make sure that you have warm clothing and there are a lot of people who has been encouraged if you have leftover or winter clothing that you don't really get to use anymore you can donate them once you get to the mountain top at least people up in the mountain would get a chance to have warm clothing as well.
All right now we
the most anticipated news.
The most anticipated news. Yesterday, Suthep Thusuban and PDRC called for another big gathering for people to join and they promised to paralyze Bangkok. And I can safely say they kept their promise.
Yes.
It's pretty much paralyzed. Even in some area that wasn't on the list, such as the La Prao intersection.
Yeah, they
somehow
pretty much closed that down
yes,
as well.
somehow protesters show up. Not that much protester, not as many as other areas. Of course, other area you see the intersection filled with people, but it's
Victory
still closed.
Monument.
Yes, it's still closed anyway. Before you see the image, couple at the end of yesterday actually give the estimated number of protesters, which a lot of people said, I know it might not be 6. There's lots of people said it might not be 6 million as Blue Sky claim.
Okay.
But they believe it is actually so much more than what couple claim.
Okay, what did they claim? What's the estimate?
Couple said the total of protesters is about 135,000 people altogether in all venues.
That's a little bit.
That's a little bit low for what we see, and in the most anticipated area, even said only 60,000 people, such as at the Democracy Monument and at the Victory Monument. Not couple actually, the Metropole said that only 4,000 at the Victory Monument and only 9,000 at Rapasong intersection, 3,000 at Makhawan. So total is 135,000 is the estimate number of the protesters by the Metropole. So yesterday, the biggest one was the rally led by Suthep Thusuban, the walk across the Chao Phraya River through the Tak Sin Bridge and finally end up at Lumpini Park. So he gave a speech and then the Suthep yesterday get on the back of motorcycle to several stages because there were several one in the area and to just also give the speech to participants. That image you see right now was at the Prime Minister House in Yotin Patana 3. Apparently, they gather all the female protesters and also homosexual protester to be specific. So they want something on the feminine side,
So all genders.
All genders.
Make sure that all genders.
All genders, but they want the protester that are more on the feminine side to visit the Prime Minister's house.
To be a little gentle.
I am really not sure, but somehow that's that's the qualification for people that join that particular rally. It's led by Anchali Pailirak, right now working for Blue Sky TV. She lead the people there along with Dr. Seri Wong Mon Tha. And it was a little bit chaotic when one of the protesters somehow got into the parking lot next to the Prime Minister house, and reportedly police get a little hands-on with her, and people got angry. But Anjali on the speakerphone told people to just retract a little bit from the private area. So the situation was under control. But on the other hand, there was another two incident that a lot of people not too happy to hear about. One was at the Racha Damneun when the Channel 9 reporter or MCOT reporter was a live report about the situation at about 4 p.m. And suddenly when she finished the report, it's a she, when she finished the report, one of the protester just shout out that said that something like she is Thaksin slave, and she reported there is only 3,000 protesters, and that kind of gets a lot of people angry, so they kind of closing in on her. And there was a report that one protester punched her in the arm, and some people threw water at her face. And but then the leader on the stage kind of know about it pretty quickly, so they were telling people to just not
don't be so violent.
Just not assault the reporter and let them do their job. The cameraman even reportedly dragged down to the ground and almost got stomped. But a lot of people said this is when some people said that there might be some kind of third party instigating this
That's
violence.
an MCOT OV car, isn't it?
Yes, so they almost didn't make it out of there safe and sound. There's a lot of people throwing things at the truck and such. But I have to say this, MCOT has a policy to not report the number of the protests, especially in that kind of situation, for a really long time, because it doesn't matter what side anyone on, when they hear the number, there will be one side that's not happy about the number. So
true.
most of the news channel, especially mainstream media, don't really report the number anymore. Because yesterday also in the morning, Channel 3 female reporter also almost got assaulted because some people just yelled that she worked for Channel 3 and they don't report the real situation, something like that. So it makes a lot of people not happy.
It's hard to control the crowd in that
Yes.
situation, and I think that's one of the sad things that, I mean, you can gather, but you don't want to use violence and let other people do their job. It just get out of hand at this point.
And you cannot use hatred as a field of the energy.
True.
Anyway, at the end of the day, Suthep said that this is not the last day, it's the big gathering, and they meant to stay until they win, which is sound like it's mean until this caretaker government resign, and they are hoping that election commission will postpone the election date when election commission has came out and said it's not their authority. So yesterday the protester at the Victory Monument packed up around 10 p.m. and moved to the Thai-Japanese Stadium in Dindang, which is the venue that election commission will open for the registration today for the party list election.
All right.
So reportedly since 3 a.m. in the morning, there are some parties already get in line, register their name for it, and they have to wait until they start the process at 8:30 a.m., which a lot of party will arrive.
All right. Well, very interesting. We're going to take a very short break because, of course, we have a lot more updates in terms of the Prime Minister's visit to the Northeastern provinces yesterday, as well as the Pheu Thai Party getting ready for the election. So please stay tuned.